right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Without Borders. I'm your host, Fletcher Wheaton. Very excited today. We have on Jason Wagner, and I'm getting a lot of people reaching out about all types of insurance in Mexico, specifically in Cabo. And Jason's kind of one shop, a lot of different things that he can offer for insurance in Mexico. So we're going to get into that. But without further ado, Jason, do you have any opening remarks?
Hola, Fletcher. Well, thank you first and foremost for inviting me to participate. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks. And so let's just jump right into it. I know you are originally from California, but you grew up in Cabo. Can you kind of give us a little background on how you grew up in Cabo and then really how you got into insurance?
Yes. So a little backstory on me. I grew up in Cabo San Lucas, spending my summers with my father, who back in the early 80s built the Giggling Marlin Bar and Grill. Many know the Giggling Marlin, located in the corazon of Cabo, the heart of Cabo, to be a very fun spot to visit. We hang tourists upside down and pour Giggling Marlin tequila into their mouth. Yes, creating memories since 1984. So definitely a long time. And so growing up in Cabo, I enjoyed the Mexican culture, how great and friendly the people are. Of course, the delicious food. We all know Southern Baja for the amazing fishing and desert landscape. I've always just really enjoyed my time down in Mexico. And as far as getting into the insurance, this is kind of an interesting story. So while I was living down in Cabo in the early 2000s, pre-Costco, I was given a task by my father to secure insurance for the Giggling Marlin, his home, autos, and just found it very difficult. I wasn't able to find anyone who could explain the coverages to me in English and provide policies in English. So based on my father's insurance needs, the light bulb turned on. And then I founded West Coast Global Insurance Services back in 2004 and have been protecting the assets and health of my clients in Mexico and around the world ever since.
I was about to ask if you got an insurance. Hanging tourists upside down in a bar might bring the need for insurance, but that's definitely like a mainstay of Cabo, Giggling Marlin. And It's cool because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what an entrepreneur does, is like find an area that is underserved and then just kind of go in and exploit that and be able to take advantage of that fact. And it's really good to have this conversation with you, Jason, because a lot of people do reach out to me. They don't know where to go for insurance. So
sure.
What really separates you and West Coast Insurance from somebody else that's down here?
So upon a daily basis, we receive phone calls, from different clients like yourself, like clients of yours that are seeking insurance, wanting to understand how to go about it, if it's different than in the United States. And I've taken it upon myself to streamline the file building by creating online questionnaires and applications for each line of insurance. This helps during the file building steps. These applications and questionnaires are important as they deep dive into each individual's insurance needs. I alleviated no more printing, scanning required. These are cloud-based applications and allow for the frequent traveler or somebody that's just on the go to not have to sit down, print an application, fill it out, scan it back, or even fax it back if people are still faxing these days.
What are some like the main differences between insurance in the United States and Mexico? Is it basically the same thing, or do you have some major differences?
Well, one of the main differences are depending on which carrier or insurance carrier or program platform you're using, these policies are in Spanish. And you want to make sure you team up and partner up with a company like West Coast Global Insurance Services. We focus on the expat, the foreign national, the US and Canadian citizen that are purchasing second, third homes down in Mexico. And we present all of our policies in English. All the terms and conditions, the declaration page, and this is really important. When you're wanting to find out and spending money on insurance, you want to know what you're buying. And, not everybody speaks Spanish, and that's okay. These are courtesy translations that help guys like you and I, get through what is covered and what's not covered, what's included and what's excluded.
Have you ever had somebody, like you said, most people will be purchasing a second or third home down here.
Sure.
Have you ever had somebody, like, let's say from California, that bought down here, and when you go to offer insurance, they're like, wow, this is cheaper? Or are they going to say, wow, this is about the same price as what I'm paying for something in the United States?
Sure. So when we're talking about, it depends on the line of insurance. Auto insurance is going to be less expensive for the most part. And when it comes to homeowners insurance, 50% of the time, not a shocker. It is what it is, depending on which part of the world you live in and what type of coverages you're used to seeing on your current insurance policies. As far as pricing, the catastrophic coverages that are included on a Mexico home and condo insurance policy, this is where more of the premium comes into play. And we'll find that clients will ask us to explain this in more detail. And if you're in a region of Mexico, like Cabo San Lucas, or the east coast of Mexico, like Quintana Roo, you're going to want to make sure that you've got this hurricane coverage. So that's really important.
Give us the rundown of your basic home or condo insurance here.
Yeah, definitely. So, for the most part, policies are going to look and feel like what we're used to seeing in the United States. They're going to cover fire, burglary, glass breakage, third-party liability. That would include if you've got a palm tree on your property and it falls over and damages your neighbor's garage, for example. A condo owner that has a pipe break and water damage affects a surrounding unit, there'd be coverage for that. And then there's optional coverages that we just talked about a moment ago, and that would be earthquake and hurricane coverage. Very important in the Southern Baja region. This is where a bulk of the premium comes into play for obvious reasons, but really important to include these coverages.
You ever come across somebody like after the fact that has had an issue with their house and they just think, hey, this is Mexico, I don't necessarily need to, get insurance here, and they're coming to you after the fact, or any kind of like nightmare story where they're not covered for something?
So there was, after Hurricane Odile in 2014, this was the biggest hurricane that my office has seen in close to 18 years. It caused over $1 billion in damage in the Southern Baja region. And I remember a phone call from a spouse. This wife called me up one day and said, I've got to report our claim on our condo. It's extremely damaged from wind and debris and rain that got inside our unit, and I need to submit a claim. And I remember pulling up her profile and looking at it and kind of taken back for a second and seeing that she did not have catastrophic coverage included. And I remember reviewing this with her. I'm obviously going through my notes and checking this out and see that they did not want hurricane coverage. And in fact, it was her husband that purchased the policy. And when I let her know her policy did not cover, hurricane damage, she said, how could this happen? I said, your husband, unfortunately, declined on this coverage. And she said, thank you very much. But she was definitely not happy about that.
Yeah, what is that, like penny wise, dollar stupid?
Yeah,
it's really easy. It's really, and that's not like judging that person. A lot of people are gonna, say that's not gonna happen to me. And then, that's literally what insurance is for.
Well, without a doubt. And when you break it down over a monthly period, and it's not, if a hurricane is going to happen, it's when a hurricane is going to happen. And Hurricane Olaf just came through Southern Baja and, caused a lot of flooding and so forth. And, you never know. And that's why you buy insurance, right? To mitigate risk, to not have to come out of pocket 100%. And what's important about this on the condo side, I'll touch base on this, is that we get calls from clients that, just purchased a condo, and they call up and they say, I just want to purchase content coverage. And we really strive to educate our clients. That's what's really important about our day-to-day here, is making sure that clients understand what they're purchasing. Obviously, being in Mexico, this is a different type of insurance, and not everybody's used to needing to, include catastrophic coverages. So with that in mind, you want to make sure if there is a master policy on your homeowners association or there is not a homeowners association policy, these come into play. And to dive deeper into that, you've got a master policy that covers the shell of the building. And the insurable risk or the insurable exposure that condo owner has is the interior unit of that condo. And you really want to make sure that your condo policy covers betterments and fixtures. this would be best explained like 50% of the walls inward, your cabinets and your cabinets and your countertops, things like that. When you think about content coverage, personal property, the analogy I use is if you're a giant and you pick up your home or condo and turn it upside down and shake it, anything that's not attached to the walls, that's going to be considered your personal property. And you want to take it a step further and not just include coverage for that, you want to have some coverage for the betterments and fixtures. It's really important.
Do you have anybody reaching out for any sort of renter liability or anything like that?
Absolutely. So this is an extremely important topic. This question is asked all the time. You know, people like to offset their expenses by renting out their property. And when you rent your property out to a stranger, you're now changing the use of your home to a commercial use. And you want to make sure that you have the proper coverage for this. A homeowner's policy, a condo policy does not offer coverage for when you rent your home out to strangers. That the liability that's included here is for third-party liability. If in the event, like I explained earlier, a palm tree falls down or there's a pipe break. But when we get into somebody that's renting out their home and turns it into a business use, even if it's short term, that changes the use of this. And we've just launched a new policy, and this is a short-term vacation rental liability policy that offers global jurisdiction. And that's the key to this, is the global jurisdiction. So if somebody slips and falls inside your home or condo and decides to sue everybody, which is gonna happen, and they bring a lawsuit back to the United States, which could happen, or Canada, this policy will extend protection to fight that back in the United States. So it is a secondary policy. It is not included under a homeowner's or condo policy. And brand new to the scene. It has not been in existence in all these years. And I work diligently to bring this to the forefront for clients to be able to purchase. And it's now live, and clients are really, really liking this peace of mind to be able to purchase this.
Let's move on to auto insurance.
Sure.
Guessing, well, first of all, you can go on about auto insurance, but I'm also very interested in U.S. plates versus like Mexican plates. You know, it seems like a lot of people here have the Dakota plates, but
Sure.
you need to have a certain type of license plate, or, you know, what's the deal with auto insurance here?
Yeah, great question. We work with auto insurance on all aspects. And the first question we always ask is, where is the vehicle registered? Is it registered in the United States? Is it registered in Mexico, Canada? Where is the vehicle registered? That first question is going to provide us the information we need to make sure that your vehicle is insured under the right auto program in Mexico. So whether your auto's registered in California or South or North Dakota or Texas, wherever it may be, that type of policy is called a tourist auto policy, meaning your vehicle not registered in Mexico, tourist auto, driving in Mexico. And you can secure liability only, meeting the requirements of Mexico, and or a full coverage policy that would look and feel like what you're used to seeing in the United States, comp and collision, also liability coverage. And then this question also poses, you know, who's going to be driving your vehicle down in Mexico? So there are some restrictions still with individuals that are Mexican nationals driving U.S. plated vehicles. Hopefully this will change in the future, but for right now, if you're going to have a domestic worker or somebody that's a friend that's a Mexican national, you would want to allow them to drive a Mexican registered vehicle over a U.S. plated vehicle, because if they're caught by judiciales, it's possible that car may be impounded. So really important there too.
Okay, what about, do you guys cover, let's say, you know, you have somebody, I know, maybe Americans that have been living here for a while that might have
Sure.
citizenship or something, they're actually having a Mexican plated car. Is that something that you work with as well?
100%, Fletcher, absolutely. So depending on that need, you know, if we've got a special lines Mexico auto program for registered autos in Mexico, and whether the car is imported into Mexico or hecho in Mexico, made in Mexico, we can write a national plated vehicle, no problem. And again, that's always going to be one of our first questions when we build that, is to let us know where the vehicle is registered so we can fit the right insurance. And if you ever bring a car from the United States and decide to get it plated in Mexico, also let us know, because if you've changed the registration of the vehicle and had a tourist auto policy or have one, that policy is no longer active. It's not going to be valid for you driving a Mexican plated vehicle. So really important we understand where your vehicle is registered.
And is there any difference between, Texas or California plated vehicle down here versus a Mexican plated vehicle, or is it basically the same cost?
Depending on where the vehicle is registered in the States, that will be the same. We write with all the different carriers, A-rated carriers down here in Mexico. So just depending on what the individual needs are for that client, we'll fit the right style program for them. Based on your state, there's different emissions, and the emissions in the United States change from California to, say, Michigan, let's say, where there may be emissions that are needed to pass smog. And that's what's going to be really important. If your plan is to bring your vehicle and just park it in your garage and keep it down in Mexico all year round, you're not going to want to bring it back to California every 2 years to pass smog. These change DMV requirements. So this is why a lot of people do register their vehicles in South Dakota, North Dakota, wherever it is. I'm hearing they're cracking down on this. So anybody that has these types of license plates, just be careful. You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And anybody that's driving your vehicle has got a valid driver's license and the car has got registration on it all the time, active registration.
Kind of hit on what type of medical insurance you have and global health insurance?
Absolutely. This is very important, very hot topic. A lot of people are escaping the United States, let's say, and moving down to Mexico. I'm sure you hear this with your clients, trying to escape the high costs of inflation in the United States and so forth. So this all comes down to the travel patterns. Based on the travel patterns of our clients and what their individual needs are, family needs, we'll fit the right style plan to them. So whether it's a single trip or multi-trip travel medical plan, meaning they're coming down to Mexico one time and then heading back to the United States, or they're going to be bouncing back and forth between the United States or Canada and coming down to Mexico, which seems to be a lot of clients. A lot of homeowners down in Mexico come down for a couple weeks at a time and then head back to the United States, for example. And then for the more permanent resident in Mexico that is spending 6 months of the year or more down in Mexico, we'll fit an expat major medical plan. And this would replace a domestic health plan in the United States. Individuals find this to be less expensive on a global side. The insurance carriers have lower premiums because they're assuming you're going to get medical treatment in Mexico versus the United States. And then for our clients that are 65 years and older, that are nearing Medicare or already on Medicare, we have plans that also can exclude the United States and drop premium down by another 40%, which seems to be very popular. That way there is a global catastrophic style plan for anything that comes up. Not anything covered under the policy, but coverages that are found in the policy that, if somebody slips and falls, hurts themselves. We've had incidences where clients have broken hips and needed air evacuation. And that's another line of insurance, is the air evacuation. We have Take Me Home policies that can get people back to their hometown in the event that the hospital releases them and they're okay to travel that long period of time with limited resources in an air evacuation type scenario. But for the most part, we streamlined this process as well for our clients. There is no one size fits all. Everybody fits in the same box when it comes to medical. I write with a numerous amount of carriers, A-rated carriers, global carriers that basically have different plan types, maybe 5 or 6 plan types within their suite of products. And then just understanding what the individual needs are. Cost is obviously something really important. A lot of people are budgeting and needing to stay within a certain price range. So once we get a feel for this and understand this from our clients, we're able to navigate them and present some different style plans for their individual needs.
What type of comments are you getting about the healthcare down here? Are they like, wow, I'm kind of shocked at how good it is, or like, hey, I want to go back to the United States to be able to get this done? What's your kind of the feel that you get for your clients as far as healthcare here in Mexico?
Yeah, I mean, for my full-time residents in Mexico, they're very pleased with the healthcare system that's down in Mexico. You know, it's an open network with these policies, so you can pick and choose whichever facility or hospital that you want to go and visit. And once you've established those relationships, you know, talking to you, Fletcher, who do you use? You know, when somebody comes down, it's all about, you know, where have you had good experiences? Who should I, you know, where should I stay away from? You know, once you can understand what that roadmap is, there's plenty of qualified physicians that are in the Cabo San Lucas area and all throughout Mexico for that matter. Guadalajara, there's some fantastic healthcare out there as well. So, you know, it really comes down to if something catastrophic transpires, then, you know, an individual may decide, you know what, I'd rather go back to the United States and see a doctor that I've been visiting my entire life. You know, maybe they feel more comfortable with that. And they would have that flexibility under certain medical programs, medical policies to be able to navigate that and see their physician of choice back in the United States as well. So overall, great experience down in Mexico. And you know, it's just important that you have the coverage. The last thing you want to experience is to be one of those statistics of somebody that doesn't have coverage and all of a sudden their pocketbook or their life savings is drained because they didn't have a medical policy in place to at least cover some type of catastrophic risk. You know, those are the nightmare situations. We don't wish that on anyone, but that's really what it comes down to, is just making sure that you mitigate risk and, you know, making sure that you know, secure your nest egg for your retirement.
It seems to me the biggest mistake that somebody can make as far as insurance abroad in Mexico is either A, not have it at all, or B, have the mistake specifically on like home and condo insurance of not having the catastrophic coverage.
Absolutely.
Pretty plain. It's not like you're getting into this very difficult format of this whole new world of insurance, right?
No, it really isn't. And it really just comes down to having a company like West Coast Global Insurance and myself that's vetted these insurance carriers. We know the claims experience. West Coast Global Insurance also offers dedicated claims team that speak English. That's extremely important to help navigate the claims process. So, you know, this is Mexico, and you want to make sure that you're partnering up with a company that understands this landscape, and we definitely do.
Awesome. And I know you got it on the screen, but anybody that's listening to this in podcast format, can you give them your information so that they could get in touch with you if they have any questions about insurance?
Absolutely. Just right up here on top, hola@insuremewc.com. And our phone numbers are there as well. You can also visit our website at insuremewc.com. And we look forward to earning your business. Any questions that you may have, if you're thinking about moving down to Mexico and just have some insurance related questions and just kind of trying to figure things out, even if it's in a year, we get a lot of phone calls from people just trying to navigate their way, not even sure what part of Mexico they may move to, and just looking to want to understand how the insurance works. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to educate. We want to make sure everybody understands what they're doing, and at the end of the day, enjoy their time in beautiful Mexico.
Oh, well, I appreciate your time there, Jason. Do you have any closing remarks, or you want to shut it down?
Hey, just, you know, thank you, Fletcher, again, for inviting me out today. This has been fantastic, allowing me to have a platform to be able to talk about the insurance lines that West Coast Global Insurance offers. And, you know, thank you. We'll see you around the pool.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you for your time. We'll drop the webpage and the phone numbers in the show notes. And thank everybody else for tuning in and listening. We will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you so much. Hasta luego.
Adios.